people, you know, and they express themselves calmly. They could be really strong, you know, but then they are peaceful. They are warm. Yes, and there are not people who take life too difficult. Everything is easy. Whatever comes, they'll tell you, Allah ya cow. It's God who has brought that. So there is no rush for life. There is ease and there is calm. So I think it has in a lot of ways shaped my lifestyle. You know, being a calm person, at the same time very, very strong. You know, very resilient, ready to make sure that things work out with no stone unturned.
I like that statement, with no stone unturned.
Yeah.
Let me take you a little still into how the North is shaping your life. Why at some point, can we say the fact that, you know, having to be in the North and you being coming from the South and having to learn the language and all that, is that why you now said, okay, let me go into the line of education?
Oh, well, if it is me going to the line of education, firstly, I would say it's God's design and God's plan. Because I think I was in primary 3 then when I had a role model who was a lawyer, and I was going to be a lawyer. So I pursued that dream, hoping that that was where I was going to be, you know. But eventually, after waiting so many years, believing God for admission into university for law. Yes, good enough. At all times, my result was fantastic, but I wasn't getting it because, as at that time, law was quite competitive. It was more reserved for the northerners themselves. So it's like a camel passing through the eyes of a needle. So it was quite difficult getting into law. So after waiting so many years, and I was offered English to study. I went in for English, but eventually I found out that that was what God wanted me to do all along. I've always been a lover of children, and even before I was even going to go to school at all, I was already gathering children, praying with them, taking them for conferences, and also it was something inbuilt in me. I'd always loved naming ceremonies, not the parties, not the food or the drinks, but the baby. So it has always been in me. So going into that field was just so natural. Of course, it doesn't come without its own challenges, but it has been just a natural move. I don't find it difficult to take care of children, love upon them, be with them, play with them. It's such an easy thing. And so, you know, when God is directing one's path, sometimes you don't understand. But that is how God has orchestrated it and has already made plans for it to go.
You know, a lot of people, they always say that's how they know God's perfect plan. But how are you able to know that's the perfect plan for you? Because we have you saying you love children and trying to be a lawyer, then now moving to English. Of course, is it that at some point when you not jump there and then another post, they don't get out of it? At some point, they give up on education. So how did you stay focused?
Okay, so personally, I'm a very spiritual person, and it wasn't when I grew up that I understood the Lord. I encountered the Lord early, and I'd always known that God's plan for me is of good and not of evil. Plans to prosper me and bring me to an expected end. So I was just so sure that whatever way He's moving me into, He has a plan for it. I might not understand it right now, but if I allow Him to do it the way He wants it, I know I'm going to enjoy it at the end of the day. No doubt, as human, you feel it, because I wanted to study law, and law wasn't forthcoming. But eventually, when I wake up and God is rerouting it through another means to get to that point. So I felt, okay, maybe if I go in for English, maybe later I could still go in for law.
Oh, you still had that?
I still had that at the back of my mind. But when I was done with English and I found my way where I was, I knew that no, law is not it at all, not even me anymore. So that ended the whole discussion about law entirely.
Entirely.
Yes.
So now, take us now to after school. How was it like having to leave? Of course, you studied in the North. So having to leave the North and going into another environment, was there no kind of shock again?
The shock was massive. I have to be very, very frank with you. Firstly, when I landed in Lagos, the difference was just too clear. It was just too much because I came in December. The weather was extremely cold. That's even the first thing.
Oh.
Extremely cold in Kano. And then within an hour, I was in Lagos and it was extremely hot. So it was, number one, so shocking for me that this difference is just too much. And then getting there, lifestyle is totally different. It was when I got married, I had to move to Lagos, you know. So getting to Lagos was something else. Everywhere you are rushing. Everything is hustling and bustling. It was not my lifestyle, so it wasn't easy for me. I was wondering if I was going to cope, you know. I was actually wondering. And then things are really so cheap in the north, you know, compared to the south or the southwest, if I may say. So sometimes I find myself comparing, you know, even the way we relate down in the north and how people relate. So I had to start learning the ways of the people here. I had to start knowing that, oh, even when you are saying it is white, you might tell them it's cream. You know, you have to polish things, and unlike in the north, we are just so open. We are so direct. Whenever we're saying anything, we just say with no strings attached. Well, here, you have to learn the ways things are not exactly the way it is in the north. So there was a bit of struggle for me, actually, a bit of struggle, but eventually I acclimatized, and that's how humans are.
I want to know how you were able to get out of that. Because we have some women that, you know, by the time they get into such phase, they hardly get out of it. And sometimes it leads to depression, they feel unfulfilled. So how did you stay fulfilled in the shock, in the hustling, in the bustling, and trying to stay focused and say, yes, I'm in the right line?
Okay, so I'm going to say I'm blessed to have a husband by my side. He's such a good person, you know. He has really made it so easy for me, you know, really made it easy. I was from the north and I didn't speak Yoruba. Yes. So all through we cutted for 10 years, but we were communicating in English. So getting to this place, the first thing he did was he began to teach me Yoruba. So when I speak English, he will respond in Yoruba, and gradually I started to pick. So he was a soft landing for me. A very, very, you know, cushion effect was, you know, he made things easy for me. So even when I was feeling overwhelmed about it, he said, no, this is it, don't worry, I'll help you out with it. So he was always there to make sure that everything was okay, and I was able to acclimatize very well. So he was a good landing, soft landing for me. So I didn't find it difficult at all to navigate this new environment I found myself.
Now, for the children, for the love for the children, having to have a school, how were you able to balance that? Being a mother, being a wife, and as I want to have children again, taking care of children. How did you get to that point?
Okay, so I must tell you, it's not been so easy. I have to be very frank with you. It didn't start in a day, though. The school started as a crèche, you know, and then we started to have children, parents bringing in their children, and gradually, when they were supposed to go in for preschool, you know, they had to go to other schools. And then they had to start telling us that they prefer if this is a school and all that. And I said, okay, we'll pray about it and then we will look into it. And then when the Lord gave us a push, we decided to take it to the next step. We only had the preschoolers after the crèche are off you already. He is very understanding and has always given a push. Even when I'm feeling overwhelmed that, don't you think it's done? Don't worry. You'll be fine. I'll take care of this. So go ahead. I'm behind you. So this statement that people say, behind every successful man is a woman. I would also try to turn it around. Behind any man, behind her, pushing her. Because if she is not at peace in her home, then she will not be able to achieve what she is achieving and still stay married.
What of some people believe that being at peace in a married home, in a home, means that the woman herself is at peace with herself.
Yes.
What can you say about that quote as well?
Yes, because one thing we have to understand is you have to be complete for you to be in a marriage. Yes, you have to be complete. Yes, you have to be, how do I put it now? You must have a grip on yourself. Yes, you know, a marriage needs two people who have understanding for it to work. Not giving a damn about how the other person feels, then I'm wrong and it's not going to work. So there is need for you to be okay on your own and the other party okay as well, for you to be able to make a good home. You can make any kind of home. Yes, but for you to make a good home, then both of you must be very understanding. Okay, you must be patient as well. Being able to understand that, okay, this might be a phase at this time, so let's come together to work as a team to achieve a purpose.
As a team, yes. We have women out there who don't, they know they want to be the team, yes. But at some point they want to decide to be themselves. Like, yes, we are together, we are married together, but I want to have my own choice. I want to have my own being. And some people believe that when should she have it when she already has a husband and they're not a team? What can you say to that kind of woman? Is she on the right path? Or she can just slow down?
Well, I'm not going to encourage any woman to slow down. Yes, I encourage women to be go-getters. Yes, be go-getters. But one thing I don't joke with is the authority of the head. Okay. Yes, I don't joke with it because I believe when you have the backing of your husband, now you're married. If you're single, okay, the backing of your parents. But when you're married, the backing of your husband, then you have everything. Yes. So, but then, when you are having you want to achieve a particular goal, you're seeing it that you ought to achieve this goal. But your husband is not seeing it in that light. For me, because I'm a spiritual person, I'll go into the place of prayer for him to be able to see what I'm saying. Yes. So I'm not, in quotes, going to slow down, but I'm rather going to pray to bring him up to that level to understand what I am saying that he is not saying. So while I'm praying about it, I'm also bringing this particular thing back to the table again for him to reason it out. So, and it has always worked for me. So I, as a woman, I'm not going to be pushy, excessively pushy, you know, insisting it has to be my own way. No. Personally, when people see me outside and how strict I could be, they feel probably, hey, I'm the one calling the shots in the house. It's a no. But I have my own ways of going around it. Okay? So I bring it subtly and I leave it there. And then I go to the prayer room.
That's a subtle way.
In a subtle way. And then I go to the prayer room to pray. And then eventually he'll see what I'm saying. Oh, you brought this up. Okay, let's think about it. And then I explain what I'm looking at. And then, okay, let's give it a try. I won after all. Yes, but not trying to take over his own place, taking authority in the house. It's what I don't do. And I believe that a woman who submits just the way the Bible says will always get the results and the blessings of the Lord.
You know, the submission, a lot of people get that so twisted when it comes to submission. So based on your experience about life and being a happily married woman, what should be submission?
Yes, submission generally will be submitting to an authority, bowing to an authority. And either you like it or not, there is always an authority for you to bow down to wherever it is you find yourself. Wherever it is you find yourself. The Bible makes us to understand that we must submit to authority. Now it could be authority in the state, authority in the country, authority in the home. And God didn't make a mistake when he made a hierarchy so that things will go normally. In an organization where there is no hierarchy, there is going to be there will be power tussle, and there will be issues there. Yes. So irrespective of the age, irrespective of the personality, the gender, so long as that person has been placed in a place of authority, that submission must be there, or else things will not work out the way it ought to be. God is not an author of confusion. So when he made the man the head, he is not saying that the man has everything. He made the woman his support system. Like my husband, he will call me my neck or me. That's what he will call me, you know. And if you look at it clearly, you know that the neck controls the head. But the head is what everybody sees, isn't it? Before I look at your neck, I must have seen your face. Yes. So, but then there is something taking care of it and controlling how it glides. And that is the authority God has given to the man. Yes. So, one thing is believing God to be married to someone who has wisdom, you know, so that you, who is the woman who is following, is not led astray.
Now, talking of authority and women in authority, especially for you having to have a school being a proprietress, I've heard so many people say, yeah, woman is a proprietress, they're always strict, they're stressful. So how are you able to not be over strict and people tag you the strict woman, and how have you been able to manage people? Because I've seen many proprietresses, their problem is managing staff, managing the teachers. So
yes. So generally, leading people is a whole lot, generally. So you must have people management wisdom. Yes. So being strict is something nobody should joke with when it comes to their job, because people are ready to push your business wherever it is they want to take it to. They don't care whose ox is God, so long as they are being paid and they go away. Yes. So it is you who have to take the bull by the horn, telling them this is my decision. Even the Bible says where there is no law, there is no sin. Everybody knows me to be very strict. Yes, very strict. But at the same time, very loving. They know me so. So I've been able to have a good blend of being strict and being loving at the same time. Now, these are one of the things you must do as a leader. You must be empathetic. You know, you must be able to put yourself in the shoes of your staff. You know, you must be emotionally.
A single girl out there, or to any woman who's feeling lost, unfulfilled, what's your message to them?
It's a phase. Yes, and I'll tell them, tough situations never last, but tough people do. So, personally, I'm going to advise any lady, I'm going to tell her to be much more prayerful. The spiritual controls the physical. So I'm going to tell you, firstly, be very prayerful, you know, focus on the things of God. Yes, because when you are low in the things of the spirit, you will be high in the emotional issues. Everything is going to be affecting you. Everything is going to get at you. But when you allow God